Next item on the agenda is fund transfers. There are motion or questions concerning the fund transfers. As you'll notice, as always, it's usually from the general fund to the jail fund. It's the amount of $32,000. Is there a motion concerning this?
I second it, and also I'd like to comment. Last month is like 40,000, and I like to see that we could get some prisoners maybe to clean up our county roads, get some benefit, you know, out of this money that we're investing in that. I know everyone who's traveled our roads can see the trash just everywhere, and also maybe we might be able to get the West Liberty, the state prisoners. I know that back in a few years back that they used to come and clean up the state right of ways. I don't know if it's possible or not. It's something to look into.
With respect to the regional and county prisoners, the jail administrator, who was chosen primarily by a majority of the votes from the other counties, received a lot of his training in the federal system, and he's not as cooperative as previous administrators were. His requirements for utilizing the prisoners are almost so stringent and difficult that you'd almost have to have anyone to watch them and you would get them to work. So we have not utilized the prisoners hardly any for well over a year. And that's not that we didn't in the past. We used them to clean graveyards, public cemeteries, we did them a lot, and I would be glad to do that. But if it's going to cost so much to monitor them that we don't get anything out of return, it's a cost issue. I will go back and talk to him again and see if he still has the same attitude. But I think it's an excellent idea when we can do that. But as I said, I'll let Tim discuss that when we get to the later. It's a good thing. Motion been made and second. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion carries.
My best estimate is for a jail fund total of $571,487, and that is up from last year, mainly because we're going to have to raise it to allow for the difference in the for the payment of the prisoners and the medical bills.
This is a list of the items that they're considered e-scrap, hazardous waste e-scrap that they want you to recycle. And the one that says stop on the top of it. It has a list of it right there, what they will take, and that pretty well covers about everything. And you also have another page that says Kentucky e-scrap. This is what the state will take. But the reason we chose Scott, if you'll read down about halfway down to the middle of your page on the right side, the state wants to charge you $7 for a recycling fee for a monitor, computer monitor. They want to charge you $1 for a fax machine or copy machine. A TV, they want to charge you $17 for up to a 30-inch TV. The state does to recycle it. $25 for a 30-inch and above to recycle it. Scott says they will do it free of charge.
But this is the sesquicentennial of the Civil War, so I think it's important that we do what we can to put Magoffin County's part in that war to the forefront. And there were two important highways that connected Virginia to the bluegrass of Kentucky. The main one, probably the first state road in the state of Kentucky, was called the Pound Gap Mount Sterling Road. And of course I think it's really important we honor it. And a less known and almost forgotten trail was the Rebel Trace, which the Confederates used to access the same areas. And a spur of the Rebel Trace came from Hueysville, Kentucky, down the Licking River to the Gardner Farm where it intersected the Pound Gap Mount Sterling Road. So that's what these designations are for. We hope to get them passed by the state legislature and get signage and get the word out there to the county of what we actually have here.
Now therefore, the Fiscal Court of Magoffin County requests that the transportation designate the following roads and bridges in remembrance of the American Civil War in eastern Kentucky and erect appropriate signage. 1, the bridge on Kentucky Route 7 at Burning Fork as the Eliza Whitaker Joseph Bridge. 2, the designation of the railroad trace should be extended to include the following. A, all of Kentucky Route 7 from the Floyd County line of Hueysville to Sayersville in Magoffin County. B, all of Kentucky Route 7 from Sayersville to the Gardner Farm. 3, the designation of Kentucky Route 1766 as the Battle of Puncheon Trail. 4, the designation of the Civil War Trail should be extended to include the following. A, all of Kentucky Route 404 from Floyd County line at David to its intersection with the Kentucky Route 7 in Magoffin County. B, all of Kentucky Route 7 from the intersection of Kentucky Route 404 north to the Morgan County, Kentucky line.
First off, I guess I'm wearing two different hats. First, as the Magoffin County Soil Conservation Chairman, I'd like to report on our tar disposal program, which we've been in partnership with you all. Worked a lot with Mike, with Tim here lately. March 19th will be our last pickup days for farmers. So far, we've collected over 800 tars. Y'all have some down there in that lot. We're going to take them first. And that was a grant we applied through Frankfurt and got. And secondly, we applied for another grant, and we can get it approved. I feel good about it after talking to Mr. Coleman today, as a illegal dump grant. So we get that. We'll work with you all and help you all with making around $7,500 to help you clean up some dumps.
Are you still picking tires up?
We're going to have March 19th be our last day, and after that, we're going to take what funds we have left. We know what's going to cost for how many tars we got, and then we're going to use that money to help you all. The partnership deal was you all was going to haul them off. We're going to pay to have them disposed of. But what funds we have left, we want to give you all for appropriate fuel or tires or however how you want to get rid of them. But we'll pay for the process of getting disposed. It's like $1 for regular tars, $4 for coal truck tars, and $8 for tractor tars. And if you've been down there, we're figuring right now about $5,000 worth will cost us to dispose of them. So we'll probably have hopefully a couple thousand to help with the transportation and getting rid of them. But we're going to wait to see what happens the 19th. We're going to put this in this week's paper and it'll be in next week's paper. So, and then like I said, we already applied for another environmental grant to help with legal site dumps. And me and Ben's had a meeting today, and we feel real good that we may get that approved. And if we do, we'll come to you all and work in a partnership again to figure out what's the worst areas in the county to help us.
There's been some talk about how to do the Mountain Parkway, and the Jackson Highway Office had initially had a public hearing and had talked about four-laning from Johnson Fork up to Route 7. And then they decided to remove that, and somehow I can't understand if we're trying to get to point A to point B and point B to point C and then on to D, why we don't want a four-lane here and here, not here, and 2-lane and then 4-lane. So Mike was gracious enough to let me go as his proxy Tuesday to that committee, and I made myself plain on that. And I would like for this fiscal court to go on record as saying that we think that they ought to keep the four-laning of the parkway that's from Johnson Fork to Route 7 on that list and not omit it, which is what the district highway office wants to do at this time. So I'd like to make that informed a motion. Is there a second? Second. Motion been made and second. Any discussion?
Is that parkway, is that going to go through our businesses that we now exist there now? Is that the plans?
That's in negotiation, and I'm like you, but I would like to have them spend that money on doing what they've already had a public hearing on that's accepted by everybody in the public, and let us talk further about their desire to bypass, which I'm not for.
Yeah, I'm not for it.
But
I like for the fiscal court just kind of think about all the county roads. You know, we can't blacktop them all, but they do need it. There's some serious roads out there that needs blacktop. I'd like for these members just to think about floating bonds maybe for, say, I don't know, 10 mile each district or something. You know, just kind of think about it and see what.
I have it, I'm against it.
Whatever you want you to think about doing something like that.
For a maintenance project like that, thank you. I won't be disrespectful. I understand that it is an appropriate thought, but I will not vote to bond the county for blacktop. I've been hurried. We inherited too much and we're about to get that paid off. It's gone before you can get it paid off.